Peggy 18.
So Detroit is a neo-noir thriller taking place in the near future, where we are going to be in the shoes of three androids who will fight for freedom. And actually it's a game in which you play this character, you play the stories, you make decisions, and by making decisions, you tell your own story. So it all started with this short that we created in 2012. It was called Kara. It was about this female android that was built in a factory in real time in front of you, and we realized that she has emotions, she has feelings, and she wants to be alive, she wants to be free. And at the end of the short, she leaves the factory and we don't really know what happens to her. I was still haunted by this character and what happens to Kara when she leaves the factory. So when we had to think about what we wanted to work on, I really wanted to revisit the story and give, and tell them what comes after that when she leaves the factory. If the Android industry had to settle somewhere in the world today, it would probably be in Detroit because of this great past, but also because there are a lot of empty factories, there's a lot of space. For me, the story had to be grounded in the real world, so I absolutely wanted a real city. And honestly, I didn't have a list of cities. It was really Detroit, and that was it. Well, creating a game that has as a title the name of a real place is something very challenging, because at the same time you want to be inspired by the locations, and you want these places to fit into the story that you have to tell, but at the same time it's very important that you are very respectful for the people living there, so they don't get the feeling that you use their city and you use their daily lives basically to tell your story. We really thought of Detroit as the fourth playable character somehow, and from its history, it's a character that started as a very powerful place and very wealthy place, and it went through very hard times, and now it's coming back trying to be born again. So in the game, what we're trying to do is really to make this character alive somehow and not have a static background, but rather have a character that would evolve and change through the story. So at the beginning, you can see a sunny version of Detroit somehow, and then it becomes rainy, and then it's really pouring rain and becomes darker and darker before snow arrives, and snow covers everything near the end. Well, it's a very emotional moment for me to come back after having spent 4 years of my life working on the city. And it's funny because we visited the city first, and so we started with a real place, but for 4 years it became a virtual place, something that we recreated. And coming back after 4 years and seeing the real place again is really an interesting experience, very, very moving experience for me.
For the players.